Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin. Thanks for joining us today, where we have some fun today with some returning objects known as coins from something called grading, certification, third party, whatever you want to yada yada. Let's look at the coins. We're going to have a bunch of crackouts involved, and some of these coins are for customers, but many are not. I'm going to start with this really cool 1863-cent silver piece. 3-cent silver, some people call them a trime, and has this really beautiful design to it where it has the C for cents and then the 3 columns for 3 and some arrows, and just a lovely, lovely coin all around. And as always, guys, leave feedback on the videos, like, share, subscribe. We'll talk more about that in a minute. UNC details cleaned. So, I'm first starting with some coins we sent in that were raw, and apparently I'm sending in coins that we will be cracking out later. That one's very borderline for me. I'm having a hard time seeing the cleaning on that one. This 1934S, so this was a little bit of a shot in the dark on this guy because it's really actually a very lustrous coin for a 34S, but also it was in an album, and it just has, actually you can see the luster under the toning there. And for those of you out there who have a little more intestinal fortitude than I do, maybe you could do something else with this coin. But I sent it in hoping it would just straight grade at a nice middle to high AU. Once again, you can see the luster there is really strong. The reverse of the coin I find to be very, very original. It is a little bit on the dark side, but this is actually very, very original surface quality on the reverse. Now the obverse, however, I wasn't quite as sold on being, it looked like it was possibly wiped and then it ended up retoning over time. So not totally surprised that it got the UNC details, but 34S dollars are super crazy expensive in high grade. To give you an example, this is a coin that an extra fine is 120, in AU50 is 350, and MS60 is like 2800. So huge jumps on that guy. Probably just price it as is, but interesting coin. The 3-cent piece, probably going to play with that, send that back somewhere else. Next up is one of the rarest Indian head cents, 1877. And this particular coin, kind of our goal on this was to, of course, get it certified as genuine, but also a nice straight grade. It has a very even look to it. There's just kind of nice flat surfaces. Not always the easiest thing to do on a coin like that to get a straight grade out of it, but you can see that's a very, very original coppery look. And this came back in AG3, which is probably a $350 to $400 type coin, I think, in the current market. But even when I was a kid, these coins were pretty expensive and low grade, and some things have not changed. Before we start cracking, I want to show you one more coin that we sent in raw that I really liked. Once again, you talk about originality on a coin, and a little bit to the point where you kind of get concerned. There's this line that can get crossed between when it's original and it's just, well, environmental damage. And so this coin has some of that going on where it was in an old, what was this guy in? An old envelope. And it almost has that green hue that you get from when a silver dollar has been exposed to leather. But it's kind of hard to describe because there's so many things that can go on the surface of a coin that makes it different than how it would look if you just fresh off the presses, right? But at the same time, even though this has a lot of this toning and extracurricular activity going over the surface, that surface quality is just like as made, as best as you can get on a peace dollar from 21. So they call this an MS62. And that thing that you fight when you see a coin like this is, the concept of, well, let's go ahead and get it conserved. But even with conservation, lots of times you can't keep that original surface quality when you have other types of activity on the coin. So pretty cool coin overall. I really like that one. I'm glad it came back uncirculated without a details grade. Probably a $600 type coin. Next up, I have some coins that were for customers of mine. And, customers, they have certain things that they want done. And some of them we have tactical discussions on. So this 1793 chain cent was in a poor one holder. And so we talked about what's the upside or downside for trying to get it in a PCGS holder, and just decided there really wasn't any risk involved at this point because it was straight graded in the annex holder. So if you're wondering what type of downside there could be, well, someone could say, well, if it doesn't straight grade, then I'm going to be unhappy. But it's in an annex poor one holder, so the feeling was if it came back just a details holder, it wouldn't matter all that much. And here we are with a poor one. And so mission accomplished, I think, on that coin. And a couple other coins here that had some problems on them. VF details burnished on this 1809. So this guy, so lots of times the copper gets that real dark look to it. And I am kind of fascinated with the terminology and uses of burnished. Like that is a term that means something different in my mind than I think how they've been using it or they use it. Because a coin like this, which PCGS calls environmental damage, that makes a little bit more sense to me. You've got a finish on the surface of this coin that is from the environment that it was in, and it's not perfect. Not perfect on that guy. Also, he had a 1909 S Indian cent harshly cleaned, which he wanted to go ahead and send in. I think we'd already told him on this coin that it is a coin that has definitely had cleaning to it. The color and tone is incorrect on this coin as a whole. So interesting, because we're trying to, I think, go from a harshly cleaned to just cleaned, and instead we went from harshly cleaned to surfaces smoothed, which is like a whole lot more detail and commentary that doesn't really actually help the coin in any way. And so I'm looking for the smoothing area here to see, because if they say something is smooth, I want to be able to see it. And I see some lines going through here, kind of, they will be horizontal on your screen. And I'm trying to take a quick look off camera to see if I can see it. I would not say that that's it. That looks like that is embedded in the coin itself. So here we have some more stuff going on in the back of the coin by the C and the O to the left of those. But once again, I think perhaps that term harshly cleaning possibly made a little bit more sense. Now, next up, we've got some fun crackaroonies that we did that are ours, that were not necessarily in, what you would consider normal holders. The annex soapbox is, of course, a normal holder, but this was just in someone's private holder on this guy. That's not how we do this. Who's working this thing? And then a Segs MS66 toned coin here. So we went, let's start with the obvious, this 87S and 63, which I thought was really a lovely coin. First of all, it has, a nice little proof-like, semi-proof-like finish on the obverse and the reverse even. That's a lovely coin. 87S, a little bit better date, and one of those coins that actually, this is almost like the sweet spot for a combination of date, mint mark, and grade when it comes to jumping grades, because from a 63 to a 64, which is what we got on this guy, you're talking about a coin that almost doubles in price. I mean, gray sheet, I think, goes from like 400 to 700 or something like that, but you almost go from like 400 to 800. This could be an $800 coin pretty easily when you look at the overall eye appeal on the coin, and just really, really lovely. All right, next, we've got a couple things to really have fun with and talk about. I think I'm going to show you this one first, this 84, and then the last one we'll save the big shiny one for lots of conversation at the end, okay? So, but this 84, there's plenty of conversation to be had about this because this coin was graded 66, and overall, I thought the coin was really very attractive underneath all of this toning. Now, having said that, toning can really be deceptive. So someone else can look at this and just think that they see chatter marks everywhere. Or I could look at this and ignore chatter marks because of toning. There's a couple marks in front of the face that pop up when you see the light tickle right in front of her nose. See that? Right in front of the nose. That's going to be a little contact area right there. And you can see it better from a distance almost than up close. All about light and angles on this. And then on the reverse also there is heavier toning, and so also the type of thing that'd be kind of hard sometimes to grade through the toning. So I actually thought this coin was a gem coin. Like, I thought it would still come back as 65. We were not buying it as a 66 to start with, so we dutifully went from a 66 to a 63. Wah, wah, wah. That is a no bueno, my friend. And so I think that I don't know, I'll probably just go ahead and sell the coin as is. I still think that the coin is quite a bit nicer than a 63, but I've been more wrong. Let's put it that way. Next up, someone had individually put this label and holder together saying this is a 67 dimple. So first I need you to cast your votes on what you think of this coin as a whole. This is an 84 Carson City. And maybe don't cast your vote just yet, because I'm going to give you lots of options here. I'm not going to ask you to tell me what grade you think it is, because I'll show you a grade. It's after the grade reveal where I want you to start telling me what you think. So this guy here, let's take a little bit closer look. Of course, you're going to have a lot of contact marks get brighter and bolder once you get that mirror glaze on there, that nice mirror finish on the coin, nice and mirror-y. And what do you do with a coin that comes back altered surface unk detail? Well, first of all, I would love to just I would love to be able to see this and understand exactly what the altering is. Now, are we talking about there being some type of putty covering the surface to give it a cameo effect? Are we talking about, what are we talking about, right? Or are we talking about something fake about the mirror aspect of the coin? That's I'd like to know. So the question is, I think on this coin, what to do. Like, I kind of feel like this coin needs to come out of this holder and try probably just with NGC just to see what they say. I feel like there's no downside for me at this point. It's a cool looking coin, and I'd love to get it straight graded because it's just got a nice look to it. And just so you get an idea of total price point, the difference from one grade to the next, if you get a deep mirror proof like on a coin on this particular date, in MS63, it's about 500, and 64 is about 700, and 65 is about 1,000. So your spread is just kind of a steady ladder. It's not a huge jump, from grade to grade. It's like bump up, right? So I am noticing here now, if you look at how the eagle is kind of molted, I'm wondering if that is something that's going on with the surface, if it's been actually cameoed. And so there's a part of me that looks at that and says, hey, if I take this coin and I dip it will that remove the artificialness, and will the rest of the coin lose some of its black and white effect? It'll still have the deep mirror though, it just won't have the contrast. So what to do, what to do, what to do. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.